How long will WWE's Liv Morgan be out with her injury? New update revealed as Rhea Ripley weighs in. Women's Tag Team Champion Liv Morgan was injured during last night's episode of Raw while facing Kairi Sane, and we now have news on the severity of her shoulder dislocation and comments from Rhea Ripley. Last night's Raw opened with Liv Morgan demanding that Io Sky hand over the Women's World Championship. Unfortunately, when she faced Kairi Sane later that evening, Morgan was almost immediately injured. It seems the plan was for Morgan and Sky to face off at an upcoming PLE, Night of Champions, Saturday night's main event, Evolution 2, and SummerSlam are all on the way. WWE also seemed to be setting up a match with Nikki Bella, likely for the women's tag team titles, following their clash last Monday. PW Insider has now shared an update on Morgan's injury, and it's not looking good. It is 100% a legitimate injury, the site confirms. For those who have asked with conspiracy theories that this was a way to write her out for an outside project, no, it was not. Morgan was checked out by WWE medical personnel as soon as she was brought backstage, the report continues. WWE is waiting to learn the severity of the dislocation, which would determine how long Morgan would be out of physical action. While we're still waiting on official word, it does sound like Morgan will miss all of the shows mentioned above. If it is a severe dislocation, it could be upwards of 16 weeks before someone is cleared for athletic activity, but again, this is all dependent on the final diagnosis in terms of how severe the dislocation is, and that has not been determined as of this writing, the piece notes. We are told it was being seen as a freak occurrence and there is no heat on anyone. Bad news for Morgan may be good news for rising star Roxanne Perez. She'll likely take her fellow Judgment Day members' place in that rumored tag team match with the Bella Twins, and her character will use the heel's absence to further cement her place in the group. We'll see, but footage of the moment Morgan was injured has started doing the rounds on social media, and it's pretty gnarly. This happened during a very common spot, so it's not remotely surprising that Sane isn't being blamed in any way. Morgan's longtime rival Rhea Ripley has weighed in, breaking character to warn fans against celebrating when a wrestler they don't like suffers a legitimate injury. Rhea Ripley reveals new look. WWE superstar Rhea Ripley appeared on Monday Night Raw with a new look. Fans became aware of it within seconds of her appearing on the show. As Ripley showed up to cost Raquel Rodriguez her Queen of the Ring match on Raw, several eagle-eyed viewers noticed something different. Mami has added layers to her hair, with the length varying across her head. Rhea Ripley has since confirmed that she indeed has cut her hair and added a new shag. The Eradicator posted about it on her official Instagram handle, along with a backstage mirror selfie. She even thanked WWE's barber Mikey Henger, who cut her hair. It seemed like Ripley would once again get involved with the Judgment Day, following her interactions with Raquel Rodriguez. However, those plans are now in jeopardy after Liv Morgan got injured. The Miracle Kid dislocated her shoulder during her match against Kairi Sane on Raw. It isn't known how long she will be out for, but all the signs unfortunately point towards it being a serious injury. Several WWE stars have broken character to tweet about the situation, including Rhea Ripley herself. She asked her fans not to mock Morgan's injury in a heartfelt post on X/Twitter. Rhea Ripley breaks character after Liv Morgan's WWE Raw injury. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan may be rivals on WWE TV, but Mami takes no enjoyment in the injury Morgan suffered on the June 17 episode of WWE Raw. Morgan took a bad fall during her match with Kairi Sane, and after a commercial break, the commentary team shared that the match had to be called off. On Twitter, Ripley made it clear that she wouldn't be celebrating Morgan's injuries and encouraged those pleased with her setback to change their attitude. Morgan and Ripley feuded for much of 2024 over the Women's World Championship as well as the affections of Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Rhea Ripley breaks character after Liv Morgan's WWE Raw injury. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan may be rivals on WWE TV, but Mami takes no enjoyment in the injury Morgan suffered on the June 17 episode of WWE Raw. Morgan took a bad fall during her match with Kairi Sane, and after a commercial break, the commentary team shared that the match had to be called off. On Twitter, Ripley made it clear that she wouldn't be celebrating Morgan's injuries and encouraged those pleased with her setback to change their attitude. Morgan and Ripley feuded for much of 2024 over the Women's World Championship as well as the affections of Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Rhea Ripley breaks character after Liv Morgan's injury. Don't celebrate an injury. Disgusting behavior. Don't be like them. Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan may be fierce rivals on WWE television, but Mami isn't celebrating Morgan's recent injury. During the June 17 episode of WWE RAW, Morgan suffered a rough fall in her match against Kairi Sane. After a commercial break, commentary announced that the match had been stopped due to the injury. Despite their on-screen feud, Ripley took to Twitter to express that she takes no satisfaction in Morgan's setback and urged fans who were cheering the injury to rethink their perspective. Ripley and Morgan spent much of 2024 locked in a heated rivalry, battling over the Women's World Championship and the attention of Dirty Dominic Mysterio. Rhea Ripley tells fans not celebrate Liv Morgan's injury. Sheamus wants Rusev. Rhea Ripley asks her fans to not celebrate Liv Morgan's injury. Rhea Ripley issues statement after Liv Morgan's injury on WWE Raw. Rhea Ripley sent out a statement after Liv Morgan suffered an injury on WWE Raw. Ripley and Morgan are former friends turned bitter enemies. They have fought long and hard on WWE television. They continue to do so, with Ripley ruining the Women's Tag Team Champions' plans on Raw. However, that does not mean Mami does not sympathize with the Judgment Day member after she suffered a brutal injury. Rhea Ripley sent a message after Liv Morgan's injury on WWE Raw. Shortly after it came to light that Morgan had legitimately dislocated her shoulder on Raw, Mami took to X/Twitter to send a message. The star issued a statement asking fans not to celebrate an injury and that it was disgusting behavior. PSA. Don't celebrate an injury. Disgusting behavior. Don't be like them. Check out the post below. It remains to be seen when Morgan will be able to return to action. ITR Wrestling would like to wish a speedy recovery to Liv Morgan. Backstage update on major Liv Morgan WWE plans after injury. Liv Morgan's injury has thrown a wrench into some major plans for WWE. On the latest episode of WWE Raw, Liv Morgan was taking on Kairi Sane. What seemed like a simple takedown took a disastrous turn after the Women's Tag Team Champion landed awkwardly on her shoulder, injuring herself. The star was immediately attended to by the doctors and was later taken to the back, with the match being awarded to Sane. Michael Cole later provided an update on the star, stating that she had suffered a dislocated shoulder. Now, a backstage update: injury has been reported. Liv Morgan's injury has put major WWE plans up in the air. According to a report from Ringside News, the injury was legitimate, with the company being concerned for Morgan's well-being. The star was taken to the back and immediately evaluated. There was no heat on anyone for the injury, with it being reportedly described as a freak accident. Additionally, WWE is also trying to ascertain how long the star will be out, as plans for Morgan to have a program with Nikki Bella are currently up in the air. Ringside News states that such injuries take around 16 weeks to heal, ruling out the star for Evolution 2. ITR Wrestling would like to wish Liv Morgan a speedy recovery. Rhea Ripley defends Liv Morgan against fan backlash for WWE Raw injury. Rhea Ripley took to her social media accounts to react to the shoulder injury her rival Liv Morgan suffered during her match with Kairi Sane on Raw. Morgan got injured in the match and had to leave the ring, with Sane earning the victory via forfeit. The former Women's World Champion suffered a dislocated shoulder, and it is unknown how much time she will miss. The Eradicator, though, came to her aid and supported her after getting backlash from WWE fans. Rhea Ripley calls out fans who celebrated Liv Morgan's injury. It appears that there were WWE fans who celebrated Morgan's injury, which could cost her significant time out of the ring, especially if it is serious enough. Ripley, meanwhile, took to X and fired shots at those who celebrated Morgan's shoulder injury. PSA. Don't celebrate an injury. Disgusting behavior. Don't be like them, the former women's world champion wrote on X. Ripley and Morgan have been friends off the ring, and it is not the first time that a WWE superstar has supported a fellow star on social media and called out fans. Ripley and Morgan had a mega rivalry for nearly 9 months, which started after WrestleMania 40 in April and came to an end on the Raw premiere on Netflix on January 6. The two superstars had a lot of back and forth during that feud and fought for the Women's World Championship multiple times on Raw and premium live events. PSA. Don't celebrate an injury. Disgusting behavior. Don't be like them, Rhea Ripley reacts to facing Io Sky and Bianca Belair at WrestleMania 41. Ripley wanted to reclaim the Women's World Championship from Io Sky and went to WrestleMania 41 in Las Vegas determined to become champion again. She faced both Sky and Bianca Belair, who had won the Elimination Chamber match in March. It was a special moment for Ripley, who collided with two of her best friends in WWE, and the Eradicator opened up about that match in an interview with 9.com. It was a wild experience. It was special and honestly, I've done a lot, that was like my 6th WrestleMania, but this one was different, and I know the outcome wasn't exactly what I was wanting, but to go out there with the girls who I grew up with in NXT was special. I moved over here, to the United States, at 20 years old, and these girls were pretty much my family, they were like my sisters and the only ones that I saw every single day, Ripley said. Ripley is looking forward to having another match with the Genius of the Sky for the Women's World Championship, even though she has reignited her feud with Raquel Rodriguez lately.